to Career Uprising. I'm your host and professional career coach, Lorraine Rise. Join me as I guide you through an amazing journey of self-discovery and empowerment. If you are looking for work, changing careers, or stuck in a toxic job, then this is the show for you. I offer both practical and spiritual guidance to help you up-level and advance your career. Let's start the uprising. Hey everyone, you are listening to episode 103, Your Job Won't Make You Happy. How are you guys doing? I haven't put out a new show in a couple of weeks, maybe about a month, so I hope you're doing well. I took just a brief little hiatus, just got really busy, quite honestly. I've been incredibly busy with coaching clients, and I've just been having a blast. I've met some really wonderful clients and had a number of them getting jobs right now, and I have to say the great resignation, as they're calling it, is very real, and I'm definitely feeling it. I brought another resume writer onto my team. We've just been super busy, so I've been loving that, but I did miss my show. I had to just pause for a couple of weeks. Clients come first, So, but I had, a listener reach out and say how much she loved the show, and it made me think, oh my God, I want to get back to it. I don't want to let people down. I want to put out new episodes. So anyway, with the pandemic, unfortunately, still going strong. The good news is there are a lot of people out there making career changes and really successful. So I would encourage you to really, really think about it. If it's something you've already been thinking about, take action. I can help you definitely to get there. The career transformation or the career jumpstart is usually the way to go for most people if they want coaching, and it's the thing to do right now. So, but as far as the show goes, from here on out, I am going to try to still put shows out as regularly as I can. I'm still very much enjoying it. So if I ever don't put a show out, it's not because I didn't want to. It's just because I'm probably super busy coaching people. But anyway, so when what's going on in the world right now? So it's super doom and gloom and dark outside my window. Hurricane Ida is kind of showing her face here just a little bit. I'm not getting any like a downpour or anything right now, but we're supposed to get rain just all day today. Here in Virginia, we tend to just not really get the hurricane, luckily, but just the outskirts of it. And I love a good rain, but that's also because I'm not really in it. So I certainly feel for people who are actually in the hurricane in the Gulf Coast. I know it's doing a lot of damage as we speak. So, but anyway, so today's topic, your job won't make you happy. What's up with that? Maybe that's not really what you wanted to hear, right? Well, there obviously, you guys know me, is going to be a positive message in this because I'm going to share with you what will make you happy, but we need to talk about this concept of our job making us happy, as we say a lot. We say that about a lot of stuff, our spouse, and a lot of external things. So we're going to talk about this. I've had this topic for a long, long time. I have kind of a podcast plan, like a business plan where I write out all my ideas. And so I've had this one for a while. And I know it might sound weird coming from a career coach to say this, but it's true. Your job will not make you happy. That's not what its job is. It's not your job's job to make you happy. So we're going to talk more about this. And the best thing I can really do is teach you how to be happy yourself, independent of any outside circumstances. And that definitely includes your job. This is really the best gift that I could give you. And it's true freedom when you don't need anybody or anything to make you happy. And it's funny how when you release that and you don't need all those external circumstances to make you happy, suddenly you start to get happier. It's kind of ironic, right? But that's how it works. Because a lot of our pain and suffering comes from wanting something that can't make us happy to make us happy. Anyway, I don't know if all that's making sense, but we are going to talk about how you can find more satisfaction and happiness in your career and what you can do. But a lot of people are looking outside of their job for that ultimate fulfillment. And it's okay to look to a job for some fulfillment, but I think we need to distinguish what we're really looking for and what can be found internally and what can be found externally, because those two things are different. But like I said, I'm here to tell you today, it's not your job's job to make you happy. And I want you to be honest with yourself about whether or not you have had that expectation or ever said those words. So I know when you are looking for a new position, it's easy to get caught up in what the job can do for you, right? Or what the company can do for you. How good is their company culture? How good are their benefits? And yes, all those things are important. So I want you to evaluate those things, but they are only half of the equation. The other half that we can work on and the half that we can control is you. We can control you and your attitude far more than we can control your boss or your company's benefits or their policies or whatever, or your coworkers, certainly. So what we want to do is focus on what we can control and maximize on that. All right. So let's talk about why people don't like their jobs in the first place. I know there's a lot of different reasons that there could be here, but I think that at the core of it, you're probably unhappy if your job doesn't align with your values. All right. So what does that mean? If you're thinking, scratching your head right now, thinking, what are my values? I don't know what that is. That's probably the first place to start. And that's the first place we start when we're doing coaching. Okay. So for example, you may complain about the salary being too low, but if you think about it, that's simply just a mismatch in values. Maybe you have different values and ideas about how you should be compensated. So you may complain about the culture. Well, that's just a difference in values if they have a different company culture than what you're looking for. Maybe there's a lack of upward mobility. Maybe you value internal promotions more than they do. It's a difference in values. Maybe your boss is really terrible and abusive. That again, though, is simply a difference in values. So you see the trend here? If we don't know what our values are, it's going to be hard to find it in the job market. So if you're going to find a job that you're truly happy with, the first thing that you need to do is be very clear on what you value and what you don't. And I would strongly suggest writing it down. This is something I do with my coaching clients. You have to know yourself really well. All right. Doing a self-inventory is always the first place to start. A lot of people will come to me and they want to get started on the resume and they want to, dive into their LinkedIn. And yes, we will do all of those things, but it's rarely ever the first place that we start. And this is why, because we don't want to run from job to job, repeating all of the same mistakes. Okay. When I'm coaching someone, we rarely ever start in that place unless I'm convinced that they have a clear direction, they're super confident, they know exactly what job they want, and they just need help with the resume or the job search topics. And I do see those clients sometimes. Then we'll go right for that. All right. Otherwise, it's just a great way to repeat all of the same mistakes. All right. So stop before you get into a new job and take an inventory of your last job, and not just the job itself, but you. All right, and how you showed up in it. But we'll get to that in a minute. I want you to take inventory of these things. What went well, what didn't, and be very clear on what needs to be different in your next position. So not everyone knows what this means or how to do it, and I understand that. And that's why coaching can be so beneficial, because you have somebody else who can be impartial and help ask questions and help you see things that you don't see and walk you through this exercise. And that's perfectly understandable. Again, that's why I do what I do, because it's really helpful sometimes. And because I can share my insights and my experiences, as well as all of those from all of my hundreds of clients that I've coached. I have a much broader perspective, which is really helpful sometimes, because we get caught up in our own story and our own negativity, and we think, well, we're the only ones feeling this way, but that's almost never true. And I can offer that to clients a lot of times because as I say, I get to see everybody's junk. You only see your junk. I see everybody's junk. So I can assure you, you're not alone, whatever you're going through. But we will do this together and come up with a list of your values and your priorities. And it does include things such as, the location and the salary, but it's not just limited to those things. We want to go deeper. Do you want a company that values certain things, that values collaboration or teamwork or promoting people from within or rewards people through high salaries, or maybe you don't care about that. Do you care about their mission and what they do? There's a lot of different things that we can evaluate there. Okay. All right. So we know step one is to take an inventory of your values. I feel like a broken record on that one, but that's what I want you to take away from this. Be clear on who you are and what you need in your next position. Like I said, that can include the salary, the type of work. Go ahead and put title and all those things down. Put the, the kind of the technical things, but put the big picture things too. It could be the company mission, their products, their services, whether or not they're growing. Know what matters to you and what doesn't matter as much and what you might be willing to negotiate on. This is the first, I'm telling you all of this because this is the first step to finding happiness in your career. You need to find a position in a company that you are aligned with, so we don't have all of those misalignment of values that I was just talking about. But there's another really important perspective that we're going to talk about in just a second. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, I'm going to walk you through one more thing that's probably even more important that you need to consider in order to be happy in your next position. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey guys, we're on a break for a minute, and I want to tell you about something exciting going on at CareerUprising.com. I have an online store that I created just for you. It has a variety of low-cost resources that will give you the boost that you need in your career, and they offer a great introduction to what it would be like to coach with me. I've got ebooks, meditations, and other resources for you to take advantage of and start getting help today. These products are instantly downloadable, priced incredibly low, and cover many aspects of career transitions. Head on over now to the store while you're listening to the show. It's at careeruprising.com/store. That's careeruprising.com/store. Now let's get back to the show. All right, so if you guys haven't figured it out yet, the message of today's show is this. You need to figure out not what you want and what things you want to be different in your next job, but what you really need to figure out too is how you are going to be different in your next job, because how you show up, the attitude you have, the choices you make, the words you say, all of it is so important. It's directly correlated to your, quote, happiness in that job, all right? That it's never the job itself that makes you happy. We think that it is, but that's misplaced. It's a happy person showing up in that job that is aligned with their values. That's why people are happy in their jobs. All right. It's not the actual job itself. It's about the alignment of values and knowing who you are. And because of that, you're able to show up better and be a happier person filling those shoes and filling that slot at the job. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay. Because we always tend to say, oh, this person makes me so happy. Or this job makes me so happy, or this town makes me so happy, whatever it is. And it's kind of harmless, I know, to think that, but I want you to dig deeper and realize that it isn't just what about it is making you happy. That's what you need to dissect. What about that town or that person or that job is making you happy? You need to know why, because if that ever isn't there anymore and you lose that job, or you have to move or whatever, or you get divorced, I don't know, and you need to find another replacement, you need to know what it was about it that made you happy and get to the heart of it. Maybe that'll make it more sense if I rephrase it that way. But a job is really going to make you happy when it's a good expression of your talents, right? And it plays to your strengths. That's why you're happy in it. And that's why it's important to say this too. That's why you're choosing happiness, because you're choosing happiness. It's always a choice. If you choose, you can either choose to be happy or choose to be unhappy. And I know people are going to balk at that and go, oh, Lorraine, I'm not choosing to be unhappy in my job. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you totally are. You totally are. And it's always a choice. Everything is. Every emotion is a choice. And it's hard for me to grasp that sometimes, but I know it's true. All right. So if you're in a really toxic, bad environment, it's because it's not aligned with your values. And that is okay that makes you unhappy, but it's your responsibility then to change it and to get something that is aligned with your values. That's where the choice part comes in. So what I want you to do is, instead of focusing just on the title or the company, I want you to focus on who you are and who you want to be at work and how you want to feel. And I want you to visualize that. Have a vision in your mind of how your day is going to go, how you show up. All right? And what your strengths and interests and priorities are, and finding a job that matches that. That's what's going to enable you to choose, make an easier choice to be happy. But that happiness is your responsibility. It comes from within you. Happy people show up happy at their jobs. That's the secret. Now, it doesn't mean everything's going to be perfect, that you'll never have a bad day or encounter any negative people or roadblocks, but you will know how to handle them and still be happy with your job overall in the long run, because you know in the bigger picture that it's a good match for you. So I talk about 3 things with my coaching clients when they're making career changes: strengths, interests, and priorities. These 3 factors should be driving your career change. Notice I didn't say salary, location, and title. I didn't mention those things. Now, we do talk about those things, but they're, like I have already said a bunch of times, they're only surface level, and they're not what we really want to focus on. You could probably find that job yourself if that's all you wanted to focus on. Okay? You probably wouldn't need a coach for that. Where I come in is helping people zoom out, look at themselves, look at the big picture, look at trends and patterns that have been happening in their career, and correct anything that needs to be corrected. Okay? So think about all of those things together, but make the primary factors your strengths, interests, and priorities. Okay? And it's okay if money is one of those things, but to a point. We always think money will make us happy, but it's kind of that old adage, a little feels good, but a lot is not enough, right? So we have to know where that line is. Sometimes if we really are not making ends meet and we're underpaid, yes, having more money will be the solution, but that stops at a point, definitely. All right. What you really are after is waking up every day to go to a job that is aligned with your strengths, interests, and priorities, because that will make you happy. All right. I just want you to see it's not about the job. It's about the alignment of all 3 of those factors together. And I'm a perfect example of this. And this is why I teach this. I love my job. It's going to sound so cheesy, but I am in my dream job. I am doing what I want to be doing every day. And I look forward to waking up and going to work. I really, really do. But the reason I'm so happy every day is because I'm doing something that I'm good at, that serves the world, and I get compensated well for it. But the only reason I even get compensated well for it is because I'm good at it and I believe in it and the world needs it. The money is a byproduct. Making a lot of money is always a byproduct of being true to yourself and being happy and serving a need in the world. And that's what you do. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. You can work for a company and do all of those things. But those are the boxes that it needs to check. Okay? So hopefully if you kind of digest all of these things, these will lead you to being happier in your career and being a happier person who can then choose to be happy at the job. But I want you to make that important distinction, okay? All right, I'm going to wrap it up for today. I hope this message served you and that you will take action on it. Go to careeruprising.com. You can learn more about me. You can always listen to episodes of this podcast there. I have a blog as well, and you can book a call to talk to me for free. I'm nice. I don't bite, I promise. And there's never a hard sell, ever. I hate that. I hate it when I get a hard sales call, that type of thing. So we just have a free conversation. We see where it goes and we take it from there. All right. Take care, guys. That's it for today's show. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard today, please consider giving the show a positive review on iTunes. It would mean a lot to me, and it would help to spread the word so that others can learn about the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to connect with you again next time on Career Uprising.
This show is brought to you by InflowRadio.com, the best curated talk radio network for personal development, wellness, spirituality, and conscious business.